It's 6:30, so I'll call the meeting to order. Number 2 on the agenda is public comments. We don't have any members of the public, so we can go on to number 3 for agenda review. I just mentioned those. Okay. So we are going to move 5A and 5D, as well as 6A, to our non-public session. Do you have anything else, Jess? I don't know. Yep. 5A and D and 6A is also going to go to non-public. All right. Number 4, we the previous meeting from September 2nd. To approve. Edits for the meeting, for the meeting minutes of September 2nd. Any discussion? No? All right, we're good. All those who want to approve the minutes of the September 2nd, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, number 5, we will move to 5B, town subdivisions.
All right. So I received an email from the town just giving us a heads up that there is a subdivision taking place in town. So I just wanted to bring that before the board so you guys knew. It's one additional house in town. It's not a huge development. So just as an FYI, the planning board did send me this, and it's a one subdivision taking one lot and dividing it into 2.
Questions, anybody? No? Sorry, I'm trying to get in the drive.
Have anything about this specifically, but I did want to just kind of bring to everybody's attention that so the condos that are over near me by the golf course, last year when I would drive through when the bus was picking kids up, it was about 5 kids. I got stuck there today. There is about 20 kids getting on at that bus stop now. And they've had to, I think you guys remember last year we had to approve a bus stop for the other side. Yep. Because the condos on the other side now have kids getting on, and there's more kids at that bus stop also. So this whole conversation about these new developments weren't going to add that many children to our district, that was a bunch of baloney, because we've got a ton. And they're little too, so they're just starting out, so they're going to be with us for a while. So just something to kind of keep in mind when we are discussing buses and bus contracts and all those things.
Thank you. All right. 5C is the NHSBA delegate.
That's all you, Mel, I think.
Yeah.
Usually it's not.
Who's our delegate?
It's
That was
you.
you. Okay.
Okay. So, did you receive the emails? I'm gonna pull it up right now.
I add it to the thread.
Board update. Okay. So it is. You should have gotten an email, but it's October 25th, Saturday, October 25th. Registration begins at 9:45 in the morning, and the conference begins at 10:30.
We do, but we're going to do them in October, correct?
Yeah,
Correct. We're going to do them.
like the week before or something like
Yep.
that.
So we'll do those in October. We'll go over that as a board. It's at the Grapponi Center in Concord. And there is a link to register. Registration has to be done by October 22nd. Just in case, you should be on their group. I'm going to forward. Do you get emails from the NHSBA in the SE? Okay. Just in case, I just forwarded it now, so it'll be at the top. You just need to register, and then in October, we'll go through the whole packet. and read them and make a vote. That way you have that with you when you go to that conference. And then anybody is welcome to attend if they wanted to, but she voting member. So if anybody else wanted to go. Carrie, is there anything I'm missing? Because I think you're the last one who did it on the board right now.
You've got it all. They do provide lunch, so that is a good thing too. You won't go hungry. But it's a neat experience because you get to see people from the other boards. And I think the thing that really was awesome was the school board of the year was Oyster River that year. And they gave a presentation on their school building, the new school building that they had built, and kind of some pointers on how to get that out to the public. So that's something to kind of keep in our minds for a little farther down the road. So that was helpful. So you'll have a good day. And it doesn't go as long as they think it's going to go. It looks like you're going to be there forever, but it moves pretty quickly. People get tired and they start voting faster.
And then we'll go over more of it in October. But I just wanted it to be fresh in our heads. Moving on to 6B, our audit update. 6A, we're going to put in non-public. 6B is the audit update.
So I wasn't sure I was going to include this yet because we had done it at the exec board. So it'll be a repeat for some, but I had Lexi just portion out Pembroke's piece so you guys could see where you're at with, or where we're at with the audit completion. So all the field work is done for being caught up with previous audits that were overdue. We're waiting on a report. And it looks like Amber got notification that they'll have a draft report to us from 23-24 by February. And then Amber will read through that, look for any errors, and then she'll submit that back for March. So that should be completed in March. And then they're going to be starting the field work from last fiscal year this November. So we'll be caught up by March.
Just so that I know how to answer the question if it's ever put to me. What's the reason for it having fallen behind?
I came in after that, so I'm not quite sure the
know.
original
Okay.
reason.
Okay.
From what I've been told, it had partial of the reason was due to COVID stuff. However, I'm not sure that that's the sole reason, but I certainly can look back and get a final answer for you of what was the reason why we fell behind in the first place.
Okay.
It was also staffing issues. We
Okay.
had a
That's
lot of turnover.
Yeah.
But then it was kind of a lack of follow-up
Okay.
also.
And I just think
we need to own that.
yeah,
If anybody asks, we need
just
to own
an
that.
answer,
Yeah. Yeah.
if
So I
if
can-
comes to us.
Yeah, I can get a formal answer for that. The actual.
I think previously when this all started, I want to say with the last audit that had been done was 2017. So then, does that sound right, Carrie?
Yes. Yep.
So then you had, 17, 18, and 18,
Yeah.
19
Yeah.
that didn't get done, and then COVID hit. So
And it is
There
the
was-
intent to do, or the desire to do this every year?
Every single year.
Every
Every year.
single year.
Yep.
And I think you know why I'm
Yeah.
asking this question,
Yep.
because there was.
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
Okay, so as long as we have an understanding that.
And I believe
We're back on track.
Pembroke is going to have an additional single audit done this year because we received over $750,000 in grant money. So we will have an additional audit that Amber and I agreed that we both should do. So we just signed paperwork for that. So Pembroke's going to have an additional audit on top of our regular financial audit as well.
And
I didn't want any room for error.
Sorry, Jess, didn't mean to cut you off there. And I had asked that we have, when we get this next report for 23-24, that we have the auditors come in and present it.
Mhm.
And then same thing going forward from here on out, that each year there should be a presentation to the board by the auditors.
Agree. I was going to just clarify, I feel like it's kind of been clarified when we look at the new policy, that it is going to now be a law that
Yep.
we need to audit every year, but it sounds like it has been our policy as a district to audit every year until we fell behind, but that was the standard policy.
So there were two audit policies that we didn't have in place. One you guys adopted last spring, I believe. And then I had found in my review that you guys had policy DIE, which is on your policy review packet. That was a law that's our policy that would state we have to do it annually. So we did not have that in place. And now we are going to have it in place.
So it was not our policy.
We did not have that policy that said we had to do it every single year. I think there was language embedded into other policies, but it wasn't as cut and dry as this policy moving forward.
I just wanted to clarify
Yep.
that that's now going to be a change moving forward.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, and I mean, that's not even, I mean, you are required by law, because we receive money
Yes.
from the federal government, you are required to do an audit every year.
Correct.
It's not you can or can't or choose to,
Mhm.
choose not to,
Correct.
but unfortunately, for a while there, we didn't. So,
Right.
So we're getting caught up though.
Yeah, this just allows for additional like follow-up and accountability and things like that, because now you'll have a policy that directly states it.
And just so this rest of you guys are aware too, I did get the questionnaire for the school board that goes to the chair. And I already filled that out and I attached all the policies that went with it. And so the auditing firm has that too. And I did double check with the previous chair and he did do it last year too. So that's all done. Got that back. It was pretty basic. Carrie helped me with a couple questions. I'm like, what is this asking me?
You did a pretty good job.
All right, 6C, superintendent evaluation.
So this has come up at executive board the last couple of times, and they started talking about it last year as well. But just wanted to put this on your radar that you guys are the board, the body that would evaluate me. So make sure that we're talking about this. And if you have, we probably should set a time for me to present goals, for the board to talk about goals, and then kind of set a strategy for evaluation there. Carrie, I'm sure you could probably add more to that, but.
So yes, it was brought up at exec board. It was actually originally brought up by a member of the community who was a former school board member and pointed out that that was something that they used to do and that she hadn't seen that being done. So I kind of pushed it through the exec board. Everybody's kind of taken a template that I provided and run with it. They've kind of made it their own, which is exactly what I wanted everybody to do. And in our meeting, Jess and Jack kind of came up with they've set some goals for themselves, but also having us as a board provide them with, provide her with a goal for this year, something that we would like to see done, or, one big goal or a couple little goals, whatever we decide. But just so that we have that kind of that mark to get to and be able to say, well, this is what her goals were. Here's how she met them. This is what our goal for her was. And this is where she accomplished this. So it's just kind of more just information for the public when we get those questions about the SAU and the SAU budget and increases and all of that fun stuff that comes with this time of year.
We all need to be held accountable.
Yes, that's right.
So, this is something I thought about before because we had started doing that. And usually it's like something we hit in the fall. But I didn't want to push that out right now because I know you're, getting active. Okay. I mean, if you're comfortable with, setting up what your goals are and presenting them to us, I don't know, in the next meeting, the meeting after that, that would be great before we get to the budget. I think that would be helpful if you're okay with that. So I don't want to overwhelm.
Do you want to do it? Sure. That's fine. Yeah, we can do it October
Okay.
21st. Yep. And then will you, as a board, how are you going to establish your goal for me that Carrie is referring to? Do you want to work on that in the first meeting in October? Or do you want to do it the same meeting?
And that was, we've been working on the strategic plan,
Mhm.
and that's actually just part of it.
Yep.
So, we pretty much have a template for that right now. And I think at this point, it just needs to be updated to this year. So,
What meeting should we?
That may be something that maybe in non-public on the 7th
Mhm.
that we
Yeah.
could discuss, have Jess step out, have a little bit of a discussion. So if everybody could come with maybe an idea or some ideas, that we can kind of discuss quickly or as long as we need, and then kind of have something ready to present to her on the next meeting.
So she's going to present first and then.
well,
Oh, go ahead, Dean.
that's fine. But I think our goals as a board coincide with the superintendent, with Jess. So I think we need to set our goals before we can, and when she informs us of hers, then, we can kind of like
Okay.
get them to jot together at that point in time. So I don't know if it has to necessarily be a non-public when we're talking about the goals for the superintendent and the goals for the school board.
Well, if it aligns
But-
with your strategic plan, that can be in public, and I can make sure those documents are in there for the 21st meeting, because
Yeah.
you do have a start to those.
Yes.
Yes.
We do. And that is in our strategic plan. And we have most of the notes on it. I'm just reformatting it and then I'm hoping.
The spreadsheet, right?
No, remember when we did the sheets, each meeting, we chose one goal? and
Yeah.
stuff?
Oh, yeah.
We
Okay.
write up our objective and our goal. And now I'm reformatting it with pictures and making it pretty with more action items. And then I'm hoping that we'll have that. But part of that aligns with you because the superintendent evaluation is in there.
Mm-hmm.
So
If
that
you
would
wanna-
make sense. Maybe October-ish, November, you present goals and then, right? And then we could have a conversation the following meeting, a couple goals for you. And then the plan should be done like by the meeting after that. I think it works. I don't know, whatever you guys think.
Oh, that sounds good.
And we can relook at it too. I'll put it in, as soon as I get through a couple more pages, I'll put it in a draft and then maybe Jess can start moving it drive to drive. So when you have a chance, you guys can go in and look at it too. And write emails, whatever you want to do. Tell me you don't like that picture.
I didn't expect there to be pictures.
Yeah. Does that work for you? Is that enough?
I'll make whatever
Okay.
is at the board's desired work.
All right. I guess we'll move on to 7 policies.
Hello.
What's that?
I said hello. Good evening. Thank you for coming. So we just emailed earlier with an update on the generative artificial intelligence. Why is that not opening for me now?
Right.
Can't preview the file? Why is that not working?
Are you logged in?
Yeah. It was working earlier. It's telling me I need to download it. I'm not signed in. Oh, it signed me out.
Feeling. It's usually the method I get when I'm signed out. That's always the case.
Um, and yeah.
So Jessica let us know that she had gotten some feedback on EHAG, and he recommended that section C of the policy not be optional. It's currently highlighted in yellow as optional, and that we include that in our policy as we have a current data privacy agreement in place for some of the AI programs. He also mentioned that for section J, we already have current procedure in place for use of AI in our buildings, and that we can easily make amendments to that plan as practices improve. But otherwise, he felt that the policy could be adopted as it is with those two revisions.
So section J that he was referring to, it tells you that you need to now go back and adopt your procedure based on your policy. We already have a procedure in place because we did that last year. And the school board policy mirrors a lot of the language because I think everyone was kind of using the same templates, the schools and the school board policy to kind of get rolling. So it's very much aligned with our current practices that we already have in place. The policy is. And so he felt really good about that. He's like, we already have that in place and that's going to be easy for us to mend as we continue to learn more and get better at discovering what's going to be the best practice regarding AI for our kids and our staff.
Excellent.
No, he's saying leave it in and he's saying it's not extra work we're going to have to do because we already have it in place. I don't know. Yeah.
The other, sorry, I guess we're getting for posterity. The very bottom of this, where the highlighted section is consider district budget cycle changes, et cetera, and selecting the date. Looks like we have to put a date on this for something. Like the annual review of the AI plan needs to be done by a certain date.
Yeah, so I think you can choose to add a date or you can choose not because it says consider adding
Okay.
the budget cycle or changes in practice. But if we are on a regular policy review cycle, then that would meet that review.
So it would need
criteria.
to strike not only not adopt the yellow, but otherwise the sentence doesn't make any sense.
Correct.
And we need to reframe
Oh, I see what you're saying.
You know what I'm
So
saying?
later than the current plan.
the sentence there.
No.
So,
Conditions for
like,
policy change.
again, not having a lot of insight into AI, and seems pretty general anyway. Logically, you would say this could be something that could affect the student handbook as well, if we have to do an update to this section of it. So that date should be prior to,
Handbook development
okay, that's what I was
Yeah.
considering.
or handbook approval.
That's what I was understanding.
Yep.
So, okay.
Yeah.
Just wanted
Yeah,
to
you
make
can
sure
do that
we're-
instead of a date. That makes sense. Yeah, I think you're right. I think that's the intention of that.
So we would be looking then to adopt this without the highlighted section, the highlighted area in section C,
With the highlighted section.
with
C.
highlighted.
He felt that we needed to keep that. That should not be optional for us. So it says, C, it says, and if applicable, that is applicable to us because we do have DPAs in place, data privacy agreements for some of the platforms we use because we have like a subscription. And so we are required to have DPAs in place.
Okay.
So keep section
Keep
C
section
that's
C,
highlighted.
And then
And then the other yellows we can remove.
remove the other ones except at the very bottom. Instead of a year, we would say no later than the publication of the student handbook.
Yep.
Do you want us to make a motion? Because this is the third reading, right? It's this-
Yeah, I mean, if you're ready to
Yeah.
make a motion, that would be great, because then we
Okay.
can just put it into policy.
So we move to adopt this policy, adopting the highlighted language in section C, removing highlighted language in section I and in section J, part G, and then amending the highlighted section at the bottom to read publication of the student handbook.
Second.
Any other discussion? No. All those in favor of approving policy EHAG, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? It's all of us. Okay,
She's just trying to keep it tight.
I know.
The other third reading is meeting minutes. And in looking at what they're advising, and in what we have already, which was the other one labeled there, current. Don't know where anyone else is on this. My lean is always toward less is more. So we do have the option. Under the sealed minutes portion. So if you look on page 6, it looks like of that.
We're added.
Which one? Ours
The
or
first of them, the revised one,
Number 5.
number 5. On page 6, actually. There are a couple of options there. We need to choose one. It's like,
Two options.
this is where my personal inclination is to adopt the one with less words because it allows a little bit more flexibility. There's a
That's
danger in something that's overwrought, then you get caught in some language that may not be particularly helpful. So option 2 would be 2 paragraphs.
So you're saying you would recommend option 2 that just says below simply and
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I would say too.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
In the current policy, it looks like you've got both options available.
Which confused me.
Okay,
bet.
that makes sense.
I was deeply confused.
I bet.
Yeah.
I was just going, I thought we were just, there was some, I was trying to match up the wording
In our
from one
current
to
one?
the other one from the current, because they were both there. So,
Yeah, that makes
All right,
sense to
that makes
choose
sense.
one. Yep.
So,
Yep.
and I think
They kind of run against each other.
they do.
The second, shorter one says by year. Yeah.
and also,
So I think sometimes what happened too, I know Jess is taking really good notes of like the stuff to add in. I think sometimes it didn't always go back, like the edits of the stuff that needed to go in there. I know people don't like to waste paper. What Carrie and I used to do was print it, cross it off and write it and hand it so that it would be updated. But you guys could also do it by email too. Or if Jess has got it written down, it'll be fine. We'll just have to watch them.
I can
What's-
write this down. I mean, that's easy
What's
enough.
the thing
path.
we're writing down?
I'm just going
Any changes, like you chose I, get rid of J.
Yeah.
That way, when they go back to the office,
I
they
just
take.
thought we'd come in with our thoughts on it. Like we'd sort of figure it out here.
I think that's why we might have two options in there. I think maybe we did.
Somebody.
Oh, that it didn't get
guys-
strike.
It
Okay,
didn't get
gotcha.
That
would-
didn't get striked out.
Yep.
Does that make sense? So I think happened.
Well, I kind of remember this discussion now.
Yeah.
That you said that.
Right. Because
Yeah.
you just did it in January 2023.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe you're right.
It never got changed. Yep.
So, I mean, that's easy enough for me to take back that if you want to strike 5, option 1,
Yes. Yeah.
but you still, the first 2 paragraphs would still exist in 5. You are just selecting option 2 over option 1. So you would still have to meet the criteria for the first 2 paragraphs under number 5. That doesn't go away.
Yeah, so on the
Yeah.
proposed language
Yeah.
is one paragraph. The part of the problem, yeah,
Yeah, you're right.
there are 2 on ours though.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
one of the little trips there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I don't know the wisdom, by the way, there. I assume the association had one for a policy that says starting on October 3rd, 2023, sealed minutes must either be reviewed within each 10-year period or unsealed no later than the expiration of 10 years. And then to, in bold, specifically date 2023 to 2023 to 2033.
Yeah, I believe it's part of the
If that-
RSA
It's
now.
part of the RSA.
That's
Yeah.
specifically in,
Mhm.
Mhm.
yeah, it just seems to me either redundant or confusing that you would put specific dates because like the first part of that would say no matter what date you're talking about.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? I don't know if they want that in there as an example.
I
Or-
believe
I don't know.
from
It
what
doesn't make sense.
From what I understand, I think it was anything that hadn't been done prior to 2023 must be done no later than 2033, no matter how old they are.
Okay.
And then that's kind of the reset date of 2023 moving forward. It's every 10 years if
Okay.
you adopt
All
B.
right. Okay.
I think that came straight from legislative
Mhm.
updates.
Okay.
Yeah.
It did. And that there's a big filing cabinet
Everybody's digging through right
that they're digging through.
That is correct. I have a stack.
I don't know if anybody had anything else. This one.
Who owns? Yeah, and I
Yeah.
think that's
Jess, is there,
back to.
don't know this, but with respect to this particular law, are there any carve-outs that we know of? So for instance, let's say that there's something pretty sensitive in there of personnel nature and the person's still working in the district.
Yeah, so when you unseal the minutes, you're not necessarily, you have a choice that you're making when you unseal a minute. It's to leave those sealed due to confidential and sensitivity information, or you're choosing to unseal and release it because it's no longer like a confidential. Yeah, so it's not just a blanket unseal. It's a review of those sealed minutes to make
so,
sure.
yeah, so that's kind of
Yeah.
what I wanted to clarify because it says, it's an and or unsealed. So the
Yeah.
or there is kind of doing some work.
Correct.
I would wonder then, we don't have to answer this now, but suppose you choose not to unseal something. What schedule is it on then?
That's a good question.
I don't know.
I'd
Doesn't
have to look
say.
it up.
Another 10
Does it
years.
start
I mean,
for
that
10
really,
years?
it's just
I would-
interesting.
I would, because it's been, again, surmising, but I would, again, it would put it back on that 10-year cycle.
Yeah. I'm just kind of like,
That's like the
Yeah.
logic you get from it,
yeah.
but who knows? They do wacky things.
Yeah, I can review the law as well because I might have a slightly different interpretation just because it says when minutes are not reviewed after 10 years are automatically unsealed. So to me, that means you can keep them.
Review
It
it every year, right?
right.
Yeah.
It insinuates
You have
that you
to
could
review it every year.
continue keeping them sealed.
It's just something we need to be aware of. Like if there are going to be things that we reserve.
I'd have to review that
for
RSA.
yes to these
Yep.
guys, we're setting them up for a perpetual review of certain
Yep.
things. So,
Yeah, I can review that RSA and make sure there's no like auxiliary information in there that's pertinent.
okay. So with that, I would move to adopt the policy with option 2 under section 5.
I'll second.
Anybody else have any questions or concerns on this one?
You can take 2 seconds.
Are you okay with us approving this one? Because it can always come back to us if we find something in the law. Jess?
Yeah, we can always amend.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm saying you need a second and move.
Anybody want to?
I second.
Oh, Jean seconded. Okay, all those in favor of approving policy BEDG, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Abstain? Any other ones you guys want to tackle?
We would like to move the policies under the second reading to a third reading. You need me to list them out by name?
No, no. I don't remember. Do we need to vote on that, Sandy? No. Okay. All those.
And then for the first meeting in October, I have a different organizational system set up. So it's a little less confusing because I will be introducing new policies while we put these on the third. That way we don't get behind in cycling.
Not bad. Thank you, guys. Number 8, we have public comments, and there's nobody here from the public, so we'll move on. If everybody's ready to number 9 for non-public. Okay. So the board has need to go into non under NARSA 91-A3 under the small letters of B, C, J, and L, which are B, J, under in a communicative proceeding pursuant to RSA 541 or RSA L, which is consideration legal counsel to be I just do in C, sorry. In C is which if this person other than a member of the board. On a roll public at 7:08 p.m. Sharon? Jean?
Yes.
Carrie?
Yes.
Ken?
Yes.
And I'm a yes.